Okay, so let's explain a little bit more about absolute extreme assignment. So I saw that you had solved and you got all the way to cosine squared equals 1, which was correct. So now you really want to get cosine alone, so you're going to take the square root of both sides. And when you take the square root and squared cancel. But you also get +1 and -1. So you're looking for where does the cosine equal 1 and where does the cosine equal -1. So if you have sine or cosine values of 0, 1, or -1, those all happen on 90, 180, 270, the quadrantal angles. So that's why I say use the waves. If you end up with sine and cosine values that are like 1/2, -√3/2, √2/2, things like that, then you want to use the triangles, okay? So because we have 1 and -1, we're going to do the cosine wave. So cosine, you should have this memorized, all of the waves. Starts here 0, here's pi/2, pi, 3 pi/2, which is 270 degrees, and then 2 pi, one full cycle. So it starts at 1, 0, -1, 0, and 1. Those are the y values. So that's why I call it the wave. And we're going to keep going in this pattern. So because this domain restriction is -pi/4 to pi/4, I want to start from right here, because that's pi/4. So I'm going to draw a little line. And then we want to go to -pi/4. So I need to actually now extend this wave backwards because of the domain restriction. Typically it's 0 to 2 pi, but you have to be flexible. So I know it's going to be the same pattern going backwards. So at -pi/2, it will go back down to 0. So here, right in the middle, is -pi/4. So we are concerned on this problem with just this restriction, okay? And so I want to know all the values where cosine equals +1. Well, +1 is right here, and that's when x equals 0 radians, okay? -1 doesn't occur in that window, but it does occur right here at x equals pi. So I could say x equals pi, except that's not on our domain. So that's why that's not going to be a solution. Now, the other thing that I noticed is you're not making a table to compare all of your critical values and your endpoints. So you really do need to show that. Most of your answers are incorrect because you haven't done this. So you're going to make a table. It's just the easiest way to organize your information. You need to put your endpoints on, as well as all critical and undefined 0, where your derivative is equal to 0 and undefined. Those are your critical values on your table. So I'm going to put 0. Then you're going to substitute these values back into the original equation for x. And you want to see what the y values are to figure out the largest and the smallest. So remember, if your function is continuous on the interval, which this is, you should have an answer for absolute max and an answer for absolute min. On your paper, you only had one of those. So you need both, okay? Absolute max and an absolute min. All right, so make sure you're making your table of your endpoints and your critical values. All right, the other thing that I noticed is, let's go to your assignment, is on number 2. That was the issue. So you had absolute, so you said absolute max at x equals 20, absolute min at x equals 8. But remember, I actually want to know the values. This is when they occur. If you're saying, you have to write it 2 different ways. So let me get back to my sheet. Just refer to number 2, because I asked for the max and min values. You could say an absolute max of, let's say your y value was 14 at x equals 8. okay? But if I want the absolute max value, it actually is the y value that I'm looking for. When you said absolute max x equals 8, that's actually not the maximum value, that's when it occurs. And in my notes, I made a very clear distinction that you have to be clear on your answer. If you write it this way, you'll get full credit no matter which question they ask, if they want to know when or what. But if they just want the absolute max and min value, it's the y value. So please be careful on that. I didn't notice that you checked. I just don't see where you have all your y values. So I'm not seeing, I see that you solved. What was the y value you got when x equals 8? What was the y value you got when x equals 0? I'm just not seeing all the information on your work, okay? You don't need a sign chart, just so you know. You need to know the y values, and you compare which one's the largest and which one's the smallest. All right, so on number 3, you had to identify all the words that applied. So you've got local min, local max, absolute min, absolute max. What you need to realize is that absolute min and max are also local min and max. So you should have 2 words for those. Critical values are all min and max. So all of these are critical values as well, not just those 2. Okay, so critical values aren't just the absolute min and max, it's also the local min and max. It's anywhere. Critical value means your derivative was 0, so you'd have a min and a max, or your derivative was undefined. So all min and max are critical values because min and max can only occur at critical values. Okay, so make that distinction. And then number 4, you missed the idea. You're really close. So on number 4, it wanted to know, let's bring this up. Number 4 wanted to know the largest slope. And they gave you the y equation, okay? And so if you want slope, that means y prime. And if you want largest, that means you want to maximize the slope. Maximize means to take the derivative and set equal to 0. So if you want to maximize slope, you actually have to take the derivative of what you want to maximize. So I need to take the derivative of y prime. So what you really want is y double prime. And you're going to set that equal to 0 and solve. It is a pretty intense algebraic problem to solve, but that's why I only gave you 4 problems on this assignment, okay? So I want to see the skills as well as reviewing solving techniques for different functions, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and give you a score for effort, but you need to retry all 4 problems, all right? There you go. Hope this helps.